Well, I think we're live. Welcome everyone, or g'day. Just thought I'd pop in for a sort of an impromptu live with you guys. I wanted to show the new switcher that I've just got, so it'll help me with my streaming for everyone. Just to make sure everything's turned off. So if you do pop in live, can you just pop into the chat and we'll have a bit of a discussion first. I'm just going to wait and see if other people pop in before I start showing what I've actually got and how this whole setup is working though. So yes, just say hi if you are popping in. Love to have a chat with you first, and then we'll start and I'll take you through how this whole system works. Because it seems to be that it's a pretty exciting system. I'm going to have a lot of fun playing with this device. I did pre-order it I think it was about 6 weeks ago. So it was quite a while ago. And it's just came in. It came in yesterday, actually, and I've seen a few reviews online of it, and I thought that I'd show you guys an initial review of how it's set up and how it works, just in case if you are interested. G'day, MSX Pro, Xbox Pro from Sydney. G'day, mate. How you going? Nice to see you in here. Hoping that a few others. Like I said, this is not a normal time for me, so I don't know how many we're going to get in this. G'day, Altric. How you going? Just going to show this new switcher that I've got, so you may be interested in it yourself. It's pretty cool. I've got to learn how to use it fully, though. So I'll sort of explain a little bit about what I've done. I've just set it up this morning and tried it, so I'm giving it to you basically just as plugged in. And we can sort of play around with it together and just sort of see the settings that this has and all other things. So I thought it might be interesting for some users to have a look at it. Jonah is saying hello from Malaysia as well. So we are starting to get a few. If you can, guys, please share it too, just so we get a few more people on board. I'm going to just waffle on a little bit while we're waiting for everyone to come in. I should have set a timer. I'll probably just put Guys, if you do want to miss this pre-show part, I will set the timer so you can have a look and skip to the part where the show actually starts, or I start to show the ATEM Mini, so we can look at that. But at the moment, you can fire away anything if you like. Jeff's saying, hi, David. Where are we? The notification just popped right up. Hello from San Diego. G'day, Jeff. How are you? Alan said, hello, David. David, how are you, mate? Really good, Alan. What about yourself? Barry is also saying hi as well. So we're probably going to get some different people in today due to the fact, I should move over when I'm on this one. Like I said, due to the fact that, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. So it's late for everyone in the US. I better turn my phone off, actually. And I'm not sure if it's probably really early in the morning for US viewers. Let me check. Yeah, it's 7:30. Oh, it's not too bad. 7:30 p.m. in Los Angeles, and New York it's 10:30 p.m. and London it's 3:31 a.m. So it's certainly early for everyone in London. Tim Bell says, Tim from Hawaii, I'm watching while cooking a good steak. Ooh, nice, Tim. Alan says from Clarkville, is that Tennessee? TN. Ron is also saying hello. Oswan said, when is Nikon and Olympus having a bankruptcy sale? Well, let's not hope too soon, Oswan. We don't want them to go bankrupt. Ron said, let's start this thing, got some editing to do. Oh, really? Oh, a bit pushy there, Ron. Oh, I love it. The guy with the camera saying howdy. Alan is saying it's only 9:31 p.m. Where are you, Alan? So where are you talking from? Like I said, it's 2:30 p.m. here in Melbourne. So I wonder where you're from. Let us know where you're from, Alan. Now, this new box that I've got, let me start. So how far are we in? We're in about, I think, only a couple of minutes. Let's have another couple of minutes and then we can start. Yes, Tennessee. Okay, so it is Tennessee. I am coming out to the US to meet a lot of you guys in February the 10th. We're coming out, Kerry and myself. We are coming out to WPPI and also doing some things around Vegas and going out to the desert. Everyone's welcome to come. If they want to tag along and do some shoots with us. We're going to be going to a number of locations in the desert out there. And then we're also going to go to Santa Monica and I think it's Yosemite and then San Francisco. So I'd love to meet up with a few of you and have a coffee or a beer or whatever. It'd be fantastic if I'd meet as many as we can. The following year we'll probably go to Europe, so I'll meet the Europeans as well. Hero saying, greetings, coffee dudes. Yeah, I'm having a coffee. Hero, myself. All right, I don't know how many we're going to get because this is a real weird time, but people can watch this a little bit later on. Alan says, wish I could meet up with you then. Yeah, it should be great, Alan. You never know. You might be able to meet up with me somewhere along these things. If you check out the Photography and Videography School, the Facebook site, did I have that open? Yeah, I have here. Let me just see if I can switch to it. It's this site here. I'll put the link down below anyway. Gerald is always posting stuff in here about the meetup and stuff like that. So there will be stuff on there that you can check out if you want to, if you're interested in having a meetup. Cheers, make sure it's an official Sony coffee. I love it. All right, so let me just come back to here. All right, so what I'm going to show you is this. So I bought this, like I said, I pre-ordered this ATEM Mini. I've just got to get it up my face so it focuses. Yeah, there we go. I bought this ATEM Mini around about 6 weeks ago. I was using another switcher previously, which was this one. It was just this. But this is more of a dumb switcher, and it just plugged in. I use Wirecast to broadcast to you guys on YouTube. So I'm using this. I was using this. It's just I suppose it's a MIDI, like a MIDI device that you can use for changing cameras and stuff like that. But when I saw that ATEM announced this new device, I thought, wow, this looks fantastic. So this was pre-ordered, like I said, around 6 weeks ago, and it got delivered yesterday. Really great little device. You can plug up to 4 cameras into this, or 4 devices into this, as long as it's HDMI. And then it just plugs into your computer and it becomes a switch and everything else. And I'll show you how this all works. But let me just throw that over there. But the beauty of this whole system now is that I can switch over to multiple cameras and stuff like that. So what I can do is I can go over to a wide angle camera. So now you're going to be seeing from the wide angle, which is showing up my whole sort of workstation here. You can see if you look over on this, I've got my Yamaha, this is the AG06 that I'm using over here to show for audio. So I'm using that. And then I've got a toolbox here as well that I use for Photoshop and Lightroom editing. My keyboard obviously, and then I have on here is my Wacom tablet. The device that I'm going to show you in a minute is this ATEM Mini is over here. And then I've got an Apollo Twin over here that I use for audio. My iPad is obviously set up here. And then I've got 2 monitors that are running over here as well. So I've got, this is an LG monitor. It's a very, very wide screen one. I'm not sure how big it is. It might be 30 odd inches. I don't know, but it's pretty big. And then I've just got an Apple 24-inch, I think, monitor that's over here as well. I've got my light that you can see, which is just above me up there. Which is a Soonwell FB21. So that's what I'm using. And I've got a grid on that because I don't want the light to just go everywhere. And I've got one camera that I'm going to use here in a minute that I'll switch to now, and you'll see that this will switch to the ATEM that I'm looking at the moment. So this is what I'm using to switch to. And every time I click onto this, it will go to another camera. So I'll just come back to the widescreen for a second. Then I've got some Fostech speakers here that I've got. I've got another one that's down there as well for, these are monitors, which are really great sounding speakers. I've got my Soonwell control down here, so I can control the light intensity from here. And I've got my Trashcan Mac Pro that you can sort of just see in the background over there. So I've got 3 cameras set up here. I've got one obviously directly in front of me. I've got the one on the left-hand side that you can see over here. And then I've got one camera which is switching down here, which can show you this little ATEM switcher as well. Which is fantastic. It's really a nice device. I probably should have put one of these on as a split screen so you could have seen how it switched. Might have been beneficial to do that. Let me just see if I can do it. So bear with me just a second. Let me just switch back onto here for a minute. Because what I'd like to do is to try and put a second screen in so you can see me switching it at the same time as that background. I'll just explain it. I think I'll just explain it that way. Let me just check what people are saying anyway. Julian's just saying hi. Hero said, yeah, wish I could go out there and maybe maybe I'll convince my wife to set it up for next year. 0007 said, tempted to buy the Black Friday A7 with the 28 to 70, $4.99. Wow. That's good. Well, I just don't know if I could recommend that. Look, I suppose if you want to save money, 0007, yes, it's still a full frame camera. And if it is really that cheap, well, at least it's usable. But there's a big, massive difference in how the original A7 worked compared to, say, the A7 II or the A7 III particularly. Or even, you may be better off to, say, get an A6 300 or something like that, which would have better focusing than an A7. Julian says, what, where? Awesome. Yeah, we're coming out to... you're talking about my US trip, Julian? Yeah, we're coming out in January the 10th. So February the 10th, sorry. February 10th, we're coming out for 4 weeks. So really looking forward to that. Yeah, the A7 is ancient. That's why I'd be hesitant to buy it. Alan said, awesome. How long did it take you to set it up? Well, not long for this system. It's really, really quick. Like I said, it's so simple just to plug in. Just got to find where that is again. Where are we? Oh, I'm on the wrong thing there. I've also got a switch on Ycast as well. That's why I've got to be careful where I go. All it is you just need HDMI cables. So your HDMI cables are switched down through here. They just plug directly into the back of this device. Let me see if the box shows it. If you look on here, where are we? Let me just move my face. If you look on here, you'll see that it shows you there that you've got your HDMI ports that are all on the back. It runs off 24 off your normal wall power, so it comes with different plugs for different regions. It comes with a USB-C port that you plug into, obviously, your computer. And it also comes as well with 2 audio ports. Now, I'm not using the audio ports because if you look here, I'm using this mic, which is a Sennheiser, and you need 42 volt power to run that. So I'm running that lead into this Yamaha that you see down here, and then that goes directly into the computer, and I'm running it from that. I did try setting it up from the headphones out into the ATEM Mini, but there was a very, very slight hum, and I'm not sure where that's coming from, so I decided to run it the way I did. If you had an unpowered microphone though, like you were using any of the onboard camera microphones or anything else, or lapel mics or something like that, you could plug it directly into the ATEM Mini. You just can't use any of these type mics due to the fact that they need to be powered up. They need that phantom power, which is 48 volt phantom power, so that needs to be turned on. So I can't run that directly into it, which is the only downside I can sort of see to it, is that you can't run XLR type devices into this. But that may come in a bigger, more expensive unit perhaps. But I'm not fussed about that. I'm quite happy with working it the way I am. I think it works out, pretty good. And the other thing too is everything switches. Now I'll show you some of the things that this does. Like I can turn the audio on and off. Like this section here turns audio on and off. Now I've turned it off because I don't want to run the audio in like I was using, because I said I think there was a little bit of a hum, which is probably just the way it's set up from the headphone out socket on that little mixer. But I can turn that on. Now you can turn on the audio independently for each device that you're using, which is really nice. And you can control the volume up and down. And I'll show you the software also does this as well at the same time as well. Now, the other thing that you can do over here as well is that I can use picture-in-picture at the same time as well. So say, for instance, now you'll notice in the top right-hand corner, now that I've pressed picture-in-picture, you can see me there up the top. if I go over to, I'll show you, I'll try and move my hand over so you can see what I'm doing. So that will put that little picture-in-picture on the left-hand side. That will put it on the right-hand side. That will go down to the bottom left-hand side, and that will go to the bottom left-hand side, sorry. And then you can turn picture-in-picture off if you want to do it that way as well. So that's quite nifty too, that you can display things like that as well, which is nice. I think that's really good as well. The other thing too is that I can also, you've got duration for your cuts in between, or effects, say, going in transitions, I suppose you could say, is going in between. If I want to use this button here and the transition changes, you'll notice now it will scroll down. So notice how now it's going down like that. If I want to press on to this one, which is next to it, and activate that, now it will do a side swipe in. So you can see how that's working. If I go over here, it will sort of, I think it just reveals like that as a whole. And then if I do it that way, I'm not sure what that does. Oh, okay, it sort of swipes in and makes a funny look when it goes across. I prefer really to just use this nice one that's down like that, that looks nice. Now you can determine how long these take to change, like there's 0.5 seconds, 1, 1.5 and 2. So if you want that transition to be a little bit slower, you can press on here, and if I press that down, it will now go a lot slower. So it just depends on how quickly you'd like to go. The other thing too is you can just fade to black. So if I want to click on this little key here, it says FTB, that will fade to black. And if I press it again, it will come back on. If I want to cut, I can just leave it on cut, and then it will just give me a straight cut. So that's without any of those transitions on at all. I can even show my iPad, because I've got my iPad plugged into number 4 here. So then you'll see that my iPad is also able to be used as well, which is, you know, fantastic. And I can open them up, and you can see straight away inside it. There's Altric, actually. Altric's in the chat, which was interesting. This is all part of the photography and videography school. So that's all there as well. Let me just show you photography videography school. This is the site that I was talking about earlier. Please join it. We've got nearly, we've got 5.6k members now, so it's growing so fast. I always put topics in here when I'm going to be live as well, so people know. Aaron's always posting, you know, and it's such a great site. Very, very positive, and it's for photographers and videographers as well, for beginners to as much as advanced. So, you know, please join us in this site, because it really is fantastic. I'll stick this link down below as well. There's no restrictions there, apart from you just can't be an arsehole, basically. That's what it is. If you are like that, you're going to get booted. So, you know, just be aware of that. Let me just quit out of that. So it seems really nice. Like, I can also bring in stills as well, and I'll just show you how the software works. Let me just come over to here. So it comes with this software, which is called the ATEM software control. And what it does is it has this, so this is the same. You'll notice now if I click in here, it shows you which camera you're on at the top there. So you can see what's going on there. Also, if I switch cameras, if I come back onto this, I don't know, I can't show this actually, I don't think. Let me just see if I can bring this up. Yeah, it's not going to work because I can't show that. Oh, hang on, auto will. Yeah, there we go. Let me just bring this back. If I am now doing the transitions, you'll notice that the transition slide will slide, which is over through in the middle there. You'll notice that will slide up and down. And I think you could probably drag that and do it yourself. Yes, you can. So you could have full control over your transitions as well, if you want to switch it like you are doing a manual switch. The other thing too is that you can use media controls. So I'll just show you in here. You can drag media files into this interface. Now the only thing is I haven't been able to load video in here. I've only been able to load stills at this stage. But what this will do, like I've put up this behind the photo still here, and I'll just show you. Let me switch back to this, and I'll show you what will happen. So now if no matter what camera I'm on, or whatever I'm on, if I hit the still button, it's going to grab that still that I just put in a couple of minutes ago. So you can see how that's working. And then if I click again, it will come back to me. So you can put multiple stills in there. And like I've put the second one in through here. I did find out before how you can change that. I think it was here actually. Where was it? It's so powerful. Like I said, I've got to read up on it now because it's really powerful. Oh, here. I can then choose number 2 if I want to have it. So you've got any of those that you can actually choose. Well, now if I choose on this one, this still button that you can see up here, it will now go to that second image. And you can see that's Annalise in a dance shoot that I did just recently. Like I said, it's just a pity I can't work out how to put video in. It may be my fault that I can't, because I notice there are video players on this page through here, but I can't seem to get it to upload or download, and that may be an update or something like that. You can just do a screen capture too. Anything that's on your screen at the moment, you can do a screen capture as well. There are audio meters through here, so you can see if I click on this, you can see all the audio meters working from each individual camera. If I turn this on, it might stuff the video up, but I'll put them on just so that you can see. So then that becomes active. That will become active. That will become active. So everything's active there. And you can control these all independently as well. That's your master control over this side. And you can control things like headphones and mic input if you have them all plugged in. There is no microphone. That may be for a higher unit though, because there's no headphone socket in this. So that may be if you have one of their more advanced units. But incredibly powerful. Like I really can't wait to start playing with, all of this, because it really is super powerful to use, and it's going to give me some other options that I'm going to be able to up the production a little bit of the the broadcast that I bring to you guys, which should also be fantastic as well. Courtney said, I have to go now. I will finish watching later. No worries, Courtney. Ron said, I need to stop watching. I love it. Wish I had an office like that. My room is a total mess. Yeah, this is the office where I've been clients in, though. My studio is next to me, so it's out the front. This is just my studio, the office side. The TV behind me, you can just see the bottom of that blue there is the TV that's up on the top up there. That's where I show brides and everyone else their videos when they're coming in to look as well. So let me just switch over to the questions to see if anyone has to say anything. But it looks like it really does look like it's a fantastic product. For me, it was about $470. I think US, they're around about $300, I think. Like I said, I don't know how much interest this is going to be for people, because you have to be a YouTuber or someone like me that would like to have a switcher. A lot of you aren't going to have any interest in this at all, but I just thought I'd show it set up so you can see how it all works. Ron said, I must have missed it, but how do you connect the iPad to the device, or is it being mirrored? No, it's not being mirrored. Ron, I have just a US, well, I can't show you because it's, I might be able to show you from this. Let me just switch to the full screen. I'll switch this camera around, it might be able to get it. On the side of the iPad, can you see there? So I've got a dock that's sitting in here. That has a HDMI out. So all I need to do is plug the HDMI out, and that will just feed straight into this ATEM Mini, because all the converters are inside of that ATEM Mini. So you don't need capture cards or anything else, because that's all built into this unit. So that's what's great about this. Normally you've always got to be buying capture cards, but I don't need to do that in this case, because it can all just plug directly in through here. Like I said, I'm running 4 cameras. That's taking the load particularly off the CPU, because this is doing all the processing, not my computer. Before, when I used to run 3 cameras, oh, thank you so much. Someone gave me some donations. Also, thank you so much. 2 donations, $5. Thank you so much, mate. Yeah, this takes away all the processing into your computer. Before, if I tried to do this, which was 4 cameras into my computer, it would have really struggled. Like it would have been somewhere up around 80% of CPU. At the moment, running all of these cameras in, also gave me another 2 donations. I have to show you. Oh, thank you so much. That's amazing. What was I going to say? Yes. Before, it would have been up about 80%. Now, this is only working at 40%. So even though I've got all of these cameras working off this, or devices working off this, my machine really is hardly working. So, it's fantastic. So if you do want to get into any of this type of media type thing, I can't recommend. Now, I've paid for this. I haven't got this given to me. I know a lot of other YouTubers put them up, review units. This was paid for out of my own money. But it looks like it's fantastic, and it really is going to make it so much easier for me, to up this production value, and so I can switch to multiple cameras, like I can show my environment that I'm in. I mean, I could put another camera out in the studio, I suppose, one of these cameras on a large HDMI cable, and switch directly from this as well, and that would be fantastic too. Or perhaps I can use a wireless system and put the wireless into this and switch that way. It's going to make things a lot easier for me to, say, go and do live streaming for you guys and things like that. Like, it really will sort of change everything for me. Let me just come back to here. I just want to see. Thank you so much, also. I really appreciate that. Os1 said that's an incredibly neat trick box. I know it is. For the price, it's unbelievable. Like, these would have been worth a fortune a couple of years ago, even 12 months ago. That would have cost a mint. So it really, and look, $500 still isn't cheap if you're in Australia, but it's good for what it does. Ron says, the more I see it work, the more I want it. I know, it's so cool, Ron. I love it. I need to stop watching. I love that. Courtney had to go. She's gone to work. Guy with the camera said, wish I had an offer. Oh, I went through that before. Yeah. Also said, hi, David. Thanks so much also for all those donations. I really appreciate it. Can it do picture-in-picture? Yes, it can. Let me show you. So it's got these setups up here. Up the top up here, these are all your picture-in-picture. At the moment, it's off. You'll notice if I turn it on, there, you'll see that it's put picture-in-picture straight away there. Like I said, I'm moving it around now. And it can go up. So yes, it can do picture-in-picture. I've just got to learn how it will change the picture inside that though. Like, that's what I've got to work out how it works. Because it seems to only swap with the front camera, like you can see now. But there must be ways you can make that switch around. So I've got to try and work out how to do that. But it certainly does seem to work. So, that's pretty cool. If I go to number 3 and turn it on, again, you can see me up there as well. So, yeah, it's great. I mean, it's really good. Let me just switch back to camera 1. So as soon as you switch cameras, it disables that picture-in-picture. You can also do chroma key as well. These settings over here, there's a chroma key setting. Now, I haven't used that yet, and I haven't even read the manual yet, believe it or not. But this is for keying, so yeah, I believe you can do chroma keys as well. You can just do still from that. Like I said, it will use that still that I'd set up in the software. And you can also fade to black as well. So if you're looking at these, that's your fade to black button, and the one above it is the one that you hit for stills. So that's how that works. Like I said, you can also fade to black too from this one. If I press that, it'll go black. If I click it again, it comes back on. If you're on auto, that's what gives you your transitions that you can see through here. Like I said, there's a whole stack of those. And then when I switch cameras, it does that transition. If I click on the cut button through here, it will just do a direct cut. So it's just doing a straight cut without any of those transitions that are there. But I like that. I like the 0.5. I think that gives you a nice sort of switch between those multiple transitions as well. Also, have a good night, David. You too. Also, thank you so much for those donations. It's running at $2.95 at B&H and Adorama in the US. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was about $470 here in Australia, but we've got a far worse dollar as well. And Julian also said looks good. Thank you, Julian. I'm really happy with it. I mean, really, that's all I wanted to sort of talk about at this stage. I just wanted to show that. So if people are interested in having a look at it, like I said, this is not a sponsored review at all. I might find a link though, because they are at B&H and Amazon. If you are interested in getting one, I'd love it if you could purchase it through my site. At least I get a bit of a kickback. But I have purchased this out of my own money, so it's not a sponsored review at all. I purchased this from Video Guys here in Melbourne. Like I said, I think I put the deposit down 6 weeks ago, and it was only delivered yesterday. So I think there may not be shipping for some people yet. They might be still reasonably hard to get. Like I said, I had it on pre-order, so I've got it. But I notice here they're just saying shipping sometime November, so you can't get them in stock, I don't think. But yeah, it looks like a fantastic unit. Apart from that, I'm live with Aaron hopefully tomorrow. It's on Aaron's show tomorrow. Yeah, the dollar is $2.95. It's $295, Alan. So yeah, I mean, it's not a cheap device, but it's way cheaper than what you would have paid, 6 months ago for this. This would have cost probably $1,000 a few months ago. So it's, for what it has, it's very reasonably priced. That's why I jumped at it when I saw it announced. When I saw it for that price range, I thought, wow. For me, I mean, you've got to justify it. You have to have something like what I'm doing, or if you were, say, traveling and doing video switching at a concert, or you were doing at a church or whatever. This may be all you need, and it's tiny. Like, it really, if you compare it to my hand, it really is small. It's a really small. It's probably not much bigger than, say, 1.5 hands or 1.25 hands. It really is small, and you can switch, like I said, to iOS devices as well, which is fantastic too. Really great. It's got everything basically that I need, apart from, I know some videographers like what they call previews. I'm not sure, because like I said, I'm not a high-end video guy, but there are devices out there that will give you a preview of what each camera is running at that time, and then you know which one to switch to. For what I'm doing, I don't need that. I'm fine with doing what I'm doing, but if you were doing more high-ended work, you'd have a small screen for each one of these. Would have a small screen, and then you could switch to it by looking at that preview, and that would help because you'd never make a mistake. But basically, it's easy for me. I've just got the 4 cameras, and I know that number 1 is on me. Number 2 is that side screen, that's the wide one. Number 3 is the one that's on this ATEM Mini. And then number 4 is my iOS device, so I can sort of see how easy that is to switch between devices. And like I said, it's got everything that I need, and the fact that you can control audio if you want to do that, as long as it's not phantom power that you need. You can control the volume all over from mic 1, mic 2. You can also control your volumes from the individual cameras as well through here. You've got all of your transitions that you can run through here. You've got picture-in-picture that you can run from the top up here, that you can see as I press around. You can see how that's working. Fantastic. I mean, how good is this little thing? Great. You can cut it if you want to use a direct cut like that. You can fade to black. You can also fade to black over this section, and you can put stills in if I want to click onto that to just load stills in as well. Brilliant. And then you've got full control if you want to use like I said, the software. You've got the manual switcher if you'd like to do it this way. That will change the same as what I'm doing if I click on each one of these. You can see I'm on camera 3 at the moment. If I switch to camera 1, you'll notice now that if I switch to... I can't do it actually, because it's not on that screen. But that's the same as switching everywhere. You can also, like I said, manually drag that transition effect up and down. So it's sliding, doing a manual transition if you want to do it that way. You can load your media files in. Like I said, I've only been able to work on stills. You can capture stills as well that are showing at that moment. And then you've got full control over your audio like I showed before. If I click on the audio, you can then see that becomes active, and then I can turn it down or push it up. So, you know, you have full control over that as well. So it really is a very high-ended system for what you're getting, particularly if you're doing what I'm doing and you want to set up a YouTube studio, or like I said, you wanted to record a church or you know, a wedding with multiple switches. Like if you would, I would even take this to a wedding if I wanted to say have a feed where I want to say put a video up onto the wall and do things like that. That could be a great option like that. So there's a lot of things that you could use this. Dance work, where you want to record dances and have different cameras and switch to those different cameras while you're recording. It does have a HDMI out, so that HDMI out could go, say, into something like an Atmos Ninja V. And then you could record that footage. Like I could record that directly from that as well. You know, so it's very, very, very good unit. And I'm going to have a ball using it. Just checking what people are saying before we finish. Julian says, I know this is off topic, but I just got an external monitor. What did you get, Julian? Let us know what you got. Alan says, it looks like a nice unit to have to use. Yeah, it certainly is, Alan. Rod says, what does Harry think of you buying this instead of taking... Oh, you're talking about Kerry. You put Kerry thinking of buying this instead of taking her to a nice dinner. I'm going to take her to lots of nice dinners when I come to the US, Ron. So I'll make it up to her when we go traveling. That's for sure. All right, guys. Tomorrow I'll be on Aaron's channel. I believe at 8 p.m. New York time. So love to see you come on that. Now that will be on Aaron's channel, I believe, the Behind the Photo show. So please join us in for that. Apart from that, I will be back live on Friday for my usual Sony Alpha News and Rumours show. So stay tuned for that as well. Hopefully there'll be some interesting things to discuss about the A7 IV and things like that, A7S IV and stuff like that. So that should be a lot of fun as well. All right, guys, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. So I just wanted to show you that. Just let me see what Julian has said there. I know this is off topic, but I just purchased an external monitor for my A7 III, but when I switch to record on 4K, the external monitor goes blank. Is that the case with the A7 III? No, it should work, Julian. Your monitor, can it take 4K? You might find that it could be HDMI settings as well. Now your monitor on the back will probably go blank. Yes, is that what you're talking about? Oh, yeah, the monitor go external. Oh, the external monitor. Okay. No, the external monitor shouldn't go blank as long as it can take a 4K signal. It should still work, but you might have to check your HDMI settings on the back of the camera to get that to work. I use 4K all the time, and it goes through. It might only display in 1080p, but it will still go through. But when I switch to 1080, it's good. Yeah, it could be that monitor won't support 4K, Julian. That may be what it is, or it might be that you have to play around with your HDMI settings in the camera. Have a safe day and night down under, mate. That's what Alan said. All right, everyone. Thanks so much, and I'll see you all soon for the next video. Bye for now.